In 677 BC, a king was dragged by the hook to Babylon, filling a 65-year prophecy. Little did the world know this was the start of a massive prophetic countdown. Join us as we map the turbulent history of the four beasts of Daniel: the lion, the bear, the leopard, and the terrifying iron beast of Rome. We reveal the mathematical precision of the 483-year countdown to the Crucifixion and explain why the 70th week was paused for 2,000 years as the 10 horns of the final world empire begin to take shape. We ask the ultimate question: how much time is left on the clock? And the king's horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings for 1 hour with the beast.
The hook and the hard way. For nearly 50 years, Jerusalem was a total house of horrors. King Manasseh, Hezekiah's kid, spent his entire reign systematically dismantling his father's legacy. He didn't just build altars to Baal, he put them inside the Holy Temple. Talk about selling out. Legend says he even sawed the prophet Isaiah in half just to shut him up. But a bigger machine was watching. To the east, the Assyrian war machine was at its absolute peak. Think Empire Strikes Back, but with more bronze and zero mercy. The year is 677 BC. King Esarhaddon of Assyria isn't exactly a forgive and forget kind of guy. When Manasseh stops paying tribute, the response is swift and brutal. The Assyrian commanders don't just arrest him, they treat him like livestock. The record in 2 Chronicles 33 says they took Manasseh with hooks and bound him in bronze shackles. This wasn't a metaphor, archaeology backs it up. Steely show Assyrian kings holding ropes tied to hooks pierced through the lips of defeated royalty. Manasseh is dragged across the desert to Babylon and thrown into a hole. For the first time, the most powerful man in Judah is utterly powerless. No idols, no sorcerers, no entourage. In the deepest mire of his life, the most wicked king does the unthinkable. He humbles himself. He prays to the God he spent 50 years insulting. Then comes the plot twist. Esarhaddon actually releases him. Manasseh returns to Jerusalem a changed man, cleanses the temple, and fixes the walls. But as he looks at the wreckage he left behind, he realizes a terrifying truth. He has repented, but the nation is already on a highway to hell. The hook was just the opening act. The clock is officially ticking. The search and destroy mission. After Manasseh, Judah falls back into chaos. But out of the wreckage comes an 8-year-old boy named Josiah. He inherits a kingdom choked by idols and buried in debt to foreign empires. In the 18th year of his reign, the high priest finds something terrifying in the temple, the Book of the Law. It hadn't been read in generations. As Josiah listens to the fine print, the curses promised for disobedience, he tears his clothes. He realizes that old prophecy wasn't just ancient history. It was a warning. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. Moment for him. Josiah goes on a search and destroy mission. He burns the sun chariots and grinds the altars to dust. For a minute, it looks like Judah might actually pull it off, but the clock can't be stopped. In 609 BC, Josiah is killed in battle. With him dies the last spark of independence. As the funeral bells ring, a young man named Jeremiah starts hearing a voice with a message no one wants to hear. The time of reform is over. The time of judgment has begun. The world has a new master, Nebuchadnezzar II. In 605 BC, he sweeps into Judah. He doesn't burn Jerusalem yet. He wants the best and brightest. Among the captives is a teenager named Daniel. He's taken to Babylon for re-education. But while Daniel is rising through the ranks, he's obsessed with a scroll written by Jeremiah. Jeremiah's message was specific. Because Judah blew off the Sabbath of the land for 490 years, God is evicting them for 70 years to let the land rest. Daniel realizes he is a living clock. He starts counting the days. Back in Jerusalem, it's a total meltdown. In 586 BC, Nebuchadnezzar loses his patience and burns the temple. Jeremiah is branded a traitor and thrown into a muddy cistern to die. He's saved, but he watches his city burn. Amidst the ashes, he makes a staggering prophecy. A branch of David, a future king, will one day come to fix everything. The math. The 490 connection. They missed 70 Sabbath years. 70 times 7 equals 490, the blueprint. Later, the angel Gabriel tells Daniel it's not just a 70-year exile, but a 70 weeks, 490-year period to bring in everlasting righteousness. The cross. The 69th week ends exactly when Jesus enters Jerusalem. Speed and iron. As the Persian bear devours kingdoms, we're counting 483 years. Then comes Alexander the Great, the Leopard. He conquers the world in 12 years and spreads the Greek language everywhere. Why? So that when the Messiah arrives, his message has a universal dial-up to the whole world. Then comes the iron, Rome, brutal, efficient, and great at building roads. But look at the math. We're nearing the end of the 69th week. On the exact day predicted by Daniel, the Messiah arrives. But Daniel 9:26 says he won't take the throne yet. Instead, he is cut off. The crucifixion. The math stops. A gap opens in time. The Iron Beast remains, but it begins to morph. The 70th week, the final 7 years, is held in reserve for a future world that looks a lot like ours. The Great Parenthesis. When the Messiah was cut off at the cross, the prophetic clock hit pause. We entered the church age, or the Great Parenthesis. The gospel leaves the ruins of Jerusalem and hits the Roman roads. Rome never really died. Its laws and power structures are the foundation of our world. But Daniel saw a detail we're seeing now: the 10 horns. This iron beast will eventually reorganize into a 10-nation confederacy, the revived Roman Empire. The clock only restarts when a world leader makes a 7-year covenant with Israel. The gap is over. Look at the beast of Revelation. It's a hybrid, the speed of the leopard, the strength of the bear, and the pride of the lion. It's the sum of all human ego, led by the iron spirit of Rome. We've seen the hook, the math, and the ashes. The clock is ready to restart. Are you ready for the final week?
And the king's horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings for 1 hour with the beast.